Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi, and we are back with a UFC fight night, one I am excited for, and one spoiler, I will actually be going to see live. We're going to be looking at UFC Fight Night Nashville, Cory Sandhagen versus Rob Font. This is going to be a pretty exciting card, I feel. I think it's a pretty solid fight night. Is it as good as like the last couple pay-per-views we've had? No. 291, as much as I hate it, and 290 were really good cards. This card, not as much, but every fight on here pretty much I feel is like a low-key banger. It's a banger fight that you're not expecting, people you may not know of, but trust me, it's pretty good. Starting off the card, Ode Osbourne versus Asu. I've tried so hard to say it, forgive me. Almabayev. I've watched his it's not more so I didn't look up how to say his name. I've watched his Brave fights, and I still can't say it. I just suck with those kinds of hard Russian pronunciations. Ode Osbourne I could do, but yes, this should be a pretty fun flyweight fight. Ode Osbourne is a pretty solid fighter. Asus is making his UFC debut in this card over here. Now, he's not 0-0, by the way. He actually has a pretty good record. I believe 17-1 or 17-2. But the thing is, most of that record is a lot of padding, per se, to be honest with you. So I don't know if he's up to snuff to face an actual UFC caliber talent. But Ode Osbourne isn't amazing by all stands. He's a pretty solid fighter. He's a pretty fun fighter. But he's been taken out a few times. He got flatline KO'd by Manel Kape with a beautiful flying knee. So I don't know. Asus is more of a grappler, and I've seen good takedown defense from Ode Osbourne, especially in most of the flyweight division. No one's really a, oh, you take me down, I'm dead kind of guy, pretty much at all in the flyweight division. So, I'm leaning towards Ode Osbourne, to be honest with you, just because we haven't seen much UFC caliber talent from Asus. So, yes. Cody Durden versus Jake Hadley. I'm a big fan of Jake Hadley. I really like his striking. I like his slick submission game. Overall, I think he's a pretty solid fighter. Cody Durden, on the other hand, I just feel he's he's kind of like tankier kind of guy. He's not like an elite fighter really, but he had a good win over Johnson. He had a good win over Moda, but then he got beat by Mokaev, and Mokaev took him out pretty easily. Like, you see, he's a really big decision guy, but when it doesn't go distance, when you actually face a not even a top talent, honestly, Mokaev's only really top talent, you see how he gets taken out one round. So Cody Durden versus Jake Hadley, I'm gonna lean towards Jake Hadley. I like his striking, and also I like his submission game a lot better. Wrestling, not all the way there, but if it goes to the ground from a takedown from Durden, then I picture Hadley would probably lock up a submission, to be honest with you. Jeremiah Wells versus Carlson Harris. I think Jeremiah Wells is going to KO Carlson Harris. Carlson Harris is a more lankier guy for the welterweight division. Jeremiah Wells is a more stockier kind of guy. He's got really good knockout power. I just overall think he's got the more clear advantages overall. He was able to beat Semmelsberger. He is able to beat McGee. And he was able to beat the crap out of Blood Diamond. That was such a bad fight, by the way. That was a horrible fight. But yes, our boy Jeremiah Wells, I feel, will be getting knockout in this fight. Carlson Harris, I'm not too high on him at all, to be honest with you. Got a solid record, but Now then, Kyler Phillips versus Raoni Barcelos. I've tried. Kyler Phillips, I feel, is going to be able to stop any of the takedowns of Barcelos. I think he's going to be able to stop any of his jiu-jitsu advantages, and I like Kyler Phillips striking overall. I think he'll be able to keep up on the feet, and he'll be able to piece them up. He has a much longer reach as well, too. That's one thing to mention. A lot of these bantamweights and featherweights have been getting way longer reaches. Like, just a spoiler for me, that's my reach. And I'm the equivalent of a middleweight. But yes, Kyler Phillips, I think, is going to be able to take out Barcelos. I think it's going to be a decision. I think Barcelos is a little bit tankier, too more durable. I don't think it's really going to be a finish or anything, but I definitely think it'll go distance. I'm going to lean towards Kyler Phillips. Our next fight is going to be Billy Q or Billy Quarantino versus Damon Jackson. Both guys are coming off a loss. Damon Jackson getting knocked out by Dan 50K Ige, but Damon Jackson's been knocked out a few times before, while Billy Quarantillo is coming off a knockout loss to Edson Barboza. It's hard to say. Damon Jackson did also get knocked out by Ilia Topuria. I'm comparing their knockouts with these. I like Billy Q. I think he's a pretty scrappy fighter. I definitely like his fighting style as well, too. I think it's a very exciting fighting style, and I think he's going to be able to really put the pressure on Damon Jackson, and I think it'll be a very solid fight overall. Billy Quarantillo, I think he's going to be able to notch out the victory. I don't know if he has the power, like a Dan Ige, Ilia Topuria, to finish Damon Jackson, but I can see it as a possibility. Overall, I think it's just better to bet a Billy Q to get the W. To the main card, Ignacio Bahamondes versus Ludovic Klein. This is going to be a fun fight. Ludovic Klein, not a huge fan of him, to be honest with you. He's got solid, well, I won't say it like that. I like him, but he's not like amazing. While Ignacio Bahamondes, I'm pretty high on. Very dynamic striker. He's got a pretty solid reach advantage. He's got I expect him to have a longer leg reach advantage. That boy seems like he's all legs. But he's got good spinning kicks. He's got good elbows in the clinch. Ludovic Klein has some pretty solid grappling and some pretty decent striking overall, having a pretty high significant strike percentage. But as you can see, Ignacio Bahamondes, he is an output guy. And that spinning back kick he's got is deadly. So I think this is going to be a banger fight, as lightweight fights often are. This is definitely the matchup to keep your eyes on. Tanner Boser versus Aleska Kamur. This is going to be a slobber knocker. Tanner Boser is honestly pretty much a heavyweight, but he masquerades at the late heavyweight division. Yes, he's got a lot of wins, but yes, he's got half as many losses. Aleska Kamur, though, this is a big step up from him. I know Tanner Boser's coming off a shot from Kutelabe that knocked him out, but Ion Kutelabe he's tanky, he's durable. You have to be pretty good, though. Not pretty good. You just have to be a good fighter to be able to take him out, but unfortunately, good fighters do take him out. I do, on the other hand, believe him to be Tanner Boser to be the more powerful of the two, the more experienced. I think he's gonna pick his shots more, and I think this is gonna be a slobber knocker, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna go Tanner Boser by KO. Diego Lopes, is it Lopez or Lopes? Lopez? I can never say his last name. Diego Lopes versus Gavin Tucker. Diego Lopes is coming off a loss, but that was his UFC debut against the number 10 in the world, an undefeated Movsar Evloev. No. And Gavin Tucker is coming off, 2-year layoff? I believe it's been since his last fight. It's been 2021. Yep, more than 2 years, which was a knockout round 1 to Dan Ige. And he lost to Quarantillo. He beat Quarantillo, sorry, forgive me. But yeah, I'm not high on Gavin Tucker at all. He's someone I'm not even a big fan of. And this one, I mean it. Meanwhile, Diego Lopes, I hate inactivity. I always say this. Diego Lopes, on a 1 week notice, he's able to fight to a decision, potentially, and honestly win a lot of that fight against the number 10 guy. There is a lot of potential in this guy, and I believe he opened up as actually an underdog. So go get your money on your boy. Dustin Jacoby versus Kennedy Njoku. I cannot say his name. This fight's hard. I want to go against the grain and go with Dustin Jacoby because I like his boxing style a little bit better. I think he's a little bit slicker on the feet. He had some pretty solid kickboxing matches. He actually fought very well against Alex Pereira in kickboxing until he got knocked out by the left hook, but that's the story of everybody. I just don't like his size for the division, if that makes sense. He's 6'3". He fills out the weight class nicely, but just a guy like Kennedy from his fights towers over his opponents. And a massive reach advantage for Kennedy. He locks up them guillotines like nothing. He's going to be able to kick and punch and strike. So, I don't know, man. I just like the boxing ability of Jacoby better. I think he's able to catch Kennedy because I don't like how he doesn't move his head. I don't like his boxing defense. But Kennedy just got that reach, and he's got power, and he's got submission games. I don't know. I'm gonna be leaning to... I don't want to pick on this fight. I don't want to pick on this fight. Just pick the fight doesn't go distance. How about that? That's the best one. I want to lean towards Jacoby, but I think the best option, the best bet for this is just it doesn't go the distance. The co-main event, Jessica Andrade versus Tatiana Suarez. Jessica Andrade, man, maybe there's such a thing as too much activity. I know I praise and love fighters who are very highly active, but Jessica Andrade fought twice in a year, fought again, got knocked out by Yan Xiaonan. Yan Xiaonan, who's living in decisions for a long time, just caught her because Jessica Andrade just fought sloppy. She just went out there and she just swang hooks for days, and Yan Xiaonan caught her with a big hook. Now she's going up against undefeated prospect Tatiana Suarez, who was riddled with injury and was out for a long time. Layoff not due to inactivity, but due to injury. Came back, won very convincingly, and now she's hungrier than ever. She is hungry. I am going to see her submitting Jessica Andrade. We saw Erin Blanchfield was able to do it. What's going to stop Tatiana Suarez from doing it? How many fights has it been this year for her, to be honest with you as well? So, this is her 4th fight of the year. Yep, 4th fight for the year. Not liking it. I'm leaning towards Tatiana Suarez. Plus, she's coming back far too soon from getting knocked out. So, not leaning towards it. And the main event of the evening, we're going to have your boy Cory Sandhagen versus also your boy Rob Font. This is a pretty exciting matchup. Honestly, I like it way better than the previous matchup, which had Umar Nurmagomedov facing against Cory Sandhagen. In that fight, I actually was leaning a little bit towards Cory Sandhagen, to be honest with you, despite him, I believe, being an underdog, just because the experience and the veteran crafty nature of Cory Sandhagen. I just can't speak today. I give up on speaking. It's too difficult. But now he has a new opponent, Rob Font, coming in short notice. This is actually going to be a catchweight bout. I wrote bantamweight. It's a catchweight bout at 140 pounds. Rob Font was initially supposed to fight Song Yadong on the Boston card, and Song Yadong pulled out, and they said, hey, yo, fight Sandhagen. And he said, hey, yo, all right. Sucks because Boston Cartel, he really wanted to fight in front of his homies, but oh well. Rob Font's a very fun fighter. Cory Sandhagen's also a very fun fighter. I think this is going to be an explosive matchup, so let's get to the tail of the tape. This is going to be a bantamweight matchup between Cory Sandhagen and Rob Font. Cory Sandhagen is going to be 31 years of age, 16 wins, 4 losses, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions, 5'11" in terms of height. Switch stance fighter. I very much like that. He's going to be 70-inch reach disadvantage, a 0.89 takedown average, a 48.90% significant strike accuracy, -270 favorite. Significant wins over Chito Vera, Song Yadong, Frankie Edgar, and Marlon Moraes. But then again, who has not beaten Marlon Moraes? And then standing across from him is going to be Rob Font. He's going to be 36 years of age. I'm always surprised at his age. He's going to have a 20 wins, 6 losses record. He has 9 knockouts, 4 submissions, 5'8" in terms of height, orthodox stance, 71.5-inch reach advantage, a 1.01 takedown average, a 48.04% significant strike accuracy, plus 220 underdog, with significant wins over Adrian Yanez, Cody Garbrandt, Marlon Moraes, because who hasn't, and Ricky Simon. Both guys are volume pressure fighters. You love to see it. Pretty much both guys are guys who really push the pace, really push the presser, especially Rob Font. Rob Font really fights very aggressively, and he was very aggressive in his last fight against Adrian Yanez. I actually had the pleasure of seeing that fight live. I did pick against Rob Font. I picked Adrian Yanez. Boy, he showed everyone by just flatline KOing Adrian Yanez. It was surprising to see, but it was really just from picking his shots. He was still pretty aggressive like he normally is, but he was just way too accurate. I really overall just liked his accuracy. Cory Sandhagen, though, is a guy that's been on the come up, a guy I've been a fan of for quite some time, and I just love watching his fights. He just has nothing but good fights. Like his fight against TJ Dillashaw, his fight against Petr Yan. These were all fun and exciting fights that he put on. Just fight of the night, fight of the year contenders in 2021. But then you look at it after that, he had a good bit of inactivity. He fought Song Yadong, got hurt really bad in that fight, but managed to get the W with crafty elbows. That's the thing. Song Yadong had the power advantage, but Cory Sandhagen was crafty, split him open with those elbows, and was able to get that W by just targeting that elbow of jabs for days. He has very good flying knees, seen against Martin Moraes, Frankie Edgar, and even TJ Dillashaw. His knees are good. He also was able to beat the last guy that beat Rob Font, which is going to be not you. Where is he? You. Chito Vera. He was actually able to beat Chito Vera, a fight that I think I picked against him, not gonna lie. But the thing is about Chito Vera is he was very slow to the point, and just Cory Sandhagen was able to outpoint him because of that. And another thing, something that he mixed in both the Song Yadong and Chito Vera fights, Cory Sandhagen mixed in grappling. Yes, he used effective grappling very well. He's able to get some takedowns, and even though he's not a submission guy, and in those fights, he did not prove to be a submission guy, he used those takedowns, he used that to keep them guessing. When they would get sloppy, he'd be able to win points on them. Otherwise, he'd piece them apart from a distance, jabs, and he'd pick at him. He's not really power guy. All of his power is really in those flying knees, which are still very deadly. If Rob Font comes in with a sloppy entry, oh, make no mistake, he could hit him right in the head with one of those knees and just KO him like that. Now then, another thing to mention as well too is Rob Font. Rob Font is a high pressure fighter, beautiful boxing, elite jabs. His jab is so good, but he loses to power for Chito Vera, because while Chito Vera was a lot slower and much lower in output, and he actually outlanded him very much. He actually had one of the highest striking outputs in all of MMA history in that fight. He still lost the fight. He lost the fight because of the power differentiation of Marlon Vera. Cory Sandhagen neutralized that by his takedowns and grappling, effective grappling. Then Jose Aldo was able to piece apart and take apart Rob Font again with the grappling now. So I don't think Cory Sandhagen can go through the route of effective grappling, but I feel like you go through the route of effective striking and power, but I feel you go through the route of effective grappling. I think you take down Rob Font, lay on him, maybe wear on him for a little bit, and then surprise him with more striking, or even catch him with a flying knee. I just feel this is a bad matchup for Rob Font. I think if he makes it a dogfight, he could really do something. We saw Petr Yan in his fight against Cory Sandhagen was really able to win by just making it a dogfight and just more volume and creative striking in the later rounds. I don't think Rob Font is as creative a striker as Petr Yan, to be honest with you, but he has a lot of those fundamentals, being that boxing skill overall. His jab is so crispy that I could see it giving Sandhagen some problems, and he actually has a slight reach advantage. So these are some important things to mention, but I still am going to be leaning towards the way of Cory Sandhagen. Cory Sandhagen, I just feel, has more tools and is more of a complete fighter. He did have some wins that aged very poorly against losses that aged very poorly against Petr Yan and also TJ Dillashaw, though I stand by it. If it's not a draw, then Sandhagen won that fight. I hate that decision. And he did get finished in one round by the champion, Aljamain Sterling. I still think he has potential. Cory Sandhagen is a dangerous and violent man, and he's a guy who I believe when he says he wants to kill a man in the ring, he hasn't said that, but Sean Strickland says all the time, Cory Sandhagen is that guy. He is brutal, he is a fighter, he's got that dog in him, but Font has that dog in him too. Despite getting brutally beat to an oblivion by Chito Vera, dropped multiple times, not once did he quit. He didn't quit for a second, which is why I feel that it's going to be a dogfight. And I am so happy to be seeing this fight live. I prefer this way more over the Umar fight, and I think it's going to be a banger. And I think it's a potential for fight of the year, to be honest with you. So that's definitely a fight to be excited for. Overall, this is a very solid card, one that I would definitely recommend you check out. It's a free fight night, but yes. For now, this has been your boy Gomi. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below, and bye-bye.